Hi guys, so remember in my last video on that was my garden progress 35 video, I had shown that a number of my mangoes got blown off the tree because of Hurricane Beryl. So I was able to pick it up and I brought them inside, and this morning when I went near to where I have all of them, I noticed that a number of them had ripened, and so I'm now going to enjoy some Julie mango. So this is how I usually eat my chili mango. I take a knife and I cut down the side, and then I take a spoon and I scoop it out like this. And that's how I eat my chili mango, using a spoon. Of course, with the seed, I would just peel the skin around it and I would suck that. But the two halves, and this is how I usually eat it. Okay guys, so it's after 6 and I always find coming into the garden early in the morning to be very calming. I already came and I opened my greenhouse. So here you can see my seedlings. Yesterday I potted up some of my bell pepper plants. This one here is a seasoning pepper. So you can see the oranges are coming up nicely, getting big. These two tomato plants that you see here, these were actually suckers on the big tomato plant. And so what I did, I took the suckers, I cut it off the plant and I put it in some soil and I just kept watering it. And as you can see, they seem to be doing well. So that's something that you can do if you want to have more plants. Just simply take a piece of your sucker, put it in some soil, and it will eventually start to grow. But so far everything looks okay. I need to open up here so air can come to this second shelf. And third shelf, I did put, yesterday I did, let's see, can you see that there? Yesterday I had pot up these plants here. This is a piece of rosemary that I put to root. Eventually, it took a while, but eventually it got some roots, so I put that there. These here, I have not seen any germination on these, but I'm not going to give up on it just yet. But yeah, so these are the seedlings. Yes, so these are my other plants that I have out. So this here is butternut squash. All these here are actually butternut squash. Everything here is butternut squash. Okay. And these are the tomato trees. So this is the tomato tree that I had, at least one of them that I had cut the sucker off, and then I put it to root. So these are the tomato trees here. And these are this is an avocado plant here that I need to get my husband to put in the ground. And behind there I have some more tomatoes as well. And these are peppers. All of these are peppers here. This is a bush basil here that I had put to root because the bigger plant, it looks like, it looked to me as if it wanted to die. And so I decided, let me try to root a piece of it so I wouldn't lose it completely. Though I was able to germinate, one of the plants went to seed and I had put it to germinate and it did germinate. So I do have a backup. So what I will probably do is once this gets established, I will take out the other bush basil that is in that other pot there and put this younger one in. Right? So these are the plants here. I do have some pepper plants here. However, they're not doing well at all. This is a jalapeno pepper and the flowers are only dropping. I don't know why. It's very frustrating because I wanted to get fruit, but it's just the flowers are just dropping. So I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, what do we have on top here? All right, so on top here I have some arugula that have germinated. This is lettuce. This is lettuce. This is arugula. This is parsley. This is cilantro. And this is spring onion. I had put some dill to germinate here, it never germinated. Well, the zinnia flower is still here. I'm waiting for these to flower. And I'm waiting for this one here to flower as well. The bush beans are getting big. As you can see, I started to see flowers on it. So they're growing. These bush beans that were not doing well initially, look at them now. They're getting big. So yeah, sometimes we want to give up on our plants, but if we just leave them, you know, they can catch themselves. This is some peppers here again. This is what you call a bird pepper. Let's look at the cucumbers. There is something, there's some sort of cutworm, I think it's in the soil underneath my insect meshing, that is eating my Chinese cabbage. I see evidence of a piece being eaten there. And I did try to look on the ground to see if I see it, but I can't seem to find it. But it's eating the plants. Anyway, all right, so this is the cucumbers here. I just put this in a few days ago. And this is the other one. It's growing up. The trellis here, as you can see. This is a zinnia that I have next to it. Now, I've heard about them talking about pinching the zinnia to allow it to branch off. Instead of just have one flower, you can get multiple. I think I need to, I think they say you have to wait until there are 3 sets of leaves before I pinch it off. I don't know. I might give it a try. Not sure. This is the other cucumber and zinnia that I have there as well. Let's head over and look at the peppers. The peppers, I noticed yesterday that there were a lot of aphids. Oh my goodness. These red ants and the aphids are really driving me up a wall trying to deal with them. So I had noticed that there were aphids on the plants. Like I'm seeing a lot of ants, and the ants is the ones that is bringing the aphids. Again, you can see something is eating. Look at this. This is my sweet basil. It's decimating it. But the thing is, when I look right now, I look under the leaves, I cannot find anything. So it's probably somewhere hiding in the soil because I cannot seem to find it. But look what it's doing. Yeah, but the challenge for me is the aphids. Oh my goodness. But anyway, hopefully the plants, you know, catch themselves and do well. This is my okra here. As I see 2 flies on meeting right here. Are you all serious? Right on my plant. So this okra seems to be catching itself. I noticed that other okra seems to be catching itself. But this one is not doing well at all. I have a Chinese cabbage in the back there. I had already harvested from that, but I left the root in. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. You see that in the back there? I left the root in, and you see what happens when you leave the root in? It starts to grow again, so you can get another harvest from it. My string beans in the back there. This is the string beans in the back there. I don't like how the leaves look. I don't know if it's because I had sprayed the neem oil on it. Maybe that could be why. But I hope that they continue to grow and I can then train them on the trellis. This is another pepper plant that I have here. And I do have another pepper plant there as well. And my hibiscus. My hibiscus has not been flowering at all. It's just, you would see the bud, but it's not opening. I don't know why. It was infested with aphids as well, so I don't know if that is the reason for it. But the ants, oh my goodness, these ants are continually bringing the aphids onto my peppers. This is another thing here that I noticed that is happening with these peppers here. They are yellowing. Again, I don't know why. If any of you guys can tell me why this is happening, I would appreciate that. But anyway, that's it for the little garden tour. This is the bush bean flowers. That's it for the little garden tour today, guys. So guys, I wanted to share something with you. I had noticed on my Chinese cabbage that it was being eaten. So like I had this one here where I did harvest the leaves and I left the root in to continue to grow, because you can do that and you will continue to get more harvest. But I saw evidence that a cutworm was eating it. So I raised up my netting and I came looking for it and I couldn't find it. I came out here yesterday and I noticed that a cutworm decimated this particular one and also this one here. So I said, no, I need to look for this thing again, as you can see even here. So I came again, I sat down, I lifted up all the leaves. Lo and behold, this time I found the culprit. It was a huge cutworm. And I was able to kill it. I also saw a baby cutworm as well on one of the leaves. So usually what I have to do is come and I will lift up the leaf like this and I would look under the leaf to see if you see any cutworm underneath it, okay? So I came at this one because you can see, look at it, it's completely eaten. So I lifted up and it was a huge cutworm on it, and that's how I was able to kill it. Now, when they're really small, it's sometimes hard to find them. And so that's why I was looking for it for days and I couldn't find this cutworm. Until I saw this and I said, no, I need to sit down here and check the soil. And sometimes they are the same color of the soil, so sometimes it's hard to find them. But I just wanted to show you what a cutworm can do to a plant overnight. Because the day before, this was not looking like this. So in one night, a cutworm can decimate your crop. And I will show you now how a cutworm looks like, because what happened is that I went across to my other Chinese cabbage plant and I said, okay, you know what, let me harvest this plant, because when I looked at it, I saw holes which I did not see before. And I said, okay, you know what, let me harvest this now before this gets worse. And lo and behold, as I lift up the leaf to cut it, I saw a cutworm. I said, you know what, let me get my camera so at least I can show you guys how a cutworm looks like and why once you see evidence of your leaves being eaten, you have to lift up every leaf and see if you find them, because if you don't find it, that will take out your whole garden. Okay, so when I came here and I looked, you see that? I saw evidence of a cutworm. So I said to myself, okay, you know what, let me harvest this now so that it doesn't get decimated by these creatures, and at least I can get it. So I came here to lift the leaf, and what did I see here?
Can you see that there, guys? Let me see if I could zoom in. Hold on. See if I could zoom in for you guys. That there, that is called a cutworm. And guys, that will eat out your plant completely. So that is what you're looking for. Of course, when they're young, they're not this big. They're very tiny, but they will eat your plants. So once you see evidence of your plants being eaten, you have to sit down. I know sometimes it's hard. Like I said, for me, I couldn't find it, but eventually I did. But you have to sit down and lift up your leaves and look for these things, because they will just eat everything. Guys, look what I found growing right to the edge here of my garden bed. It's a turmeric. So what probably happened is I probably dropped, because there were turmeric, like this is turmeric here. Let me come back. There were some turmeric growing in the corner here, and I did uproot some so I could plant this cucumber here. Maybe one fell right here, and look at that. It is starting to grow right to the edge here. So what I've decided I will do is that I'll uproot that turmeric at the edge there, and I'll put it in this pot. Now this pot is the pot that I had growing the Chinese cabbage that I just showed you guys that had the cutworm, and I harvested. I left the root in because when you do that, it will continue to grow and you can get continuous harvest. But I need a space for the turmeric. I have nowhere else to put it, so I'm going to put it in this pot to share with this Chinese cabbage. Change of plants. I'm actually going to put the turmeric in the ground here because I see some more turmeric growing here. So I'll put the turmeric in the corner here. And what I'll probably do in this pot is put a bell pepper to grow in here. Okay guys, so this is the turmeric here. So I'm going to plant this one there. And I also have these that are also sprouting as well. This one is sprouting as well. Just saw one. Alright, so now the turmeric has a new home. Okay guys, so our pepper plants have been potted up. Operation potting up pepper plants is complete. So guys, today I'm going to harvest my first cucumber. Okay, so unfortunately it didn't develop as nicely as I would have wanted it. As you notice, the bottom here is a bit deformed. However, I'm going to harvest it now so that I can enjoy it for today. So today is going to be my first harvest. I have another one here, and I see another one coming out here. But I'm going to go ahead and harvest this one now. Let's see if I can do it with holding the camera in my hand. Let's drop it down a little so you can see where I'm cutting. There we go. All right. So this is my first cucumber harvest. Of course, because I grew it and I know I didn't spray any chemicals, I will be eating the skin as well. Okay guys, so let us make our morning walk into the garden and see how things are looking.
So when I came here this morning and I opened my greenhouse, I was so pleased to see that I had put some seeds here to germinate. Now, I wasn't sure if these were going to germinate. These were actually, this plant was actually supposed to be a seasoning pepper plant. However, when I picked the peppers on it and I tasted it, the peppers were actually hot. But I still like it. I still like the fact that it is heated. So I decided, you know what? Let me save some of the seeds of it, try to germinate it, and see if I can get you know, some more pepper plants out of it, because that particular plant that I actually bought out from the nursery, I didn't like how it was looking. It was there in the nursery for a while. It even had peppers on it when I bought it. And so I said, you know, if I can germinate some seeds, then I can get some new plants and make sure that, you know, the one that I have, the mother plant, if it dies, at least I have some more. And look, I came this morning because I was losing hope. I was like, you know what, these seeds are not going to germinate. But guys, look at that. There's germinations. I'm so happy to see that. I don't have much things here in the greenhouse, but I do have some sweet basil here. And as you can see, these germinated. This is a bush basil. The plant had it went to seed, and I decided to take the seed itself to try to germinate one of it. It turns out I really didn't have to do that, because I took a cutting from it. I was able to root it, and now, you know, it's there and it's growing nicely. So what I'll probably do is just give this away to someone. This is the orange that I germinated. I need to get this into a pot. I'm going to do that now. This here is supposed to be chamomile. Only really, well, you can see it's only really one seed that did well, because even though I saw these are just not growing. So I'm hoping that this continues to grow. And then I would have my first chamomile plant. But I guess as we're here, I mean, I really came to show you guys this, but as we're here, we might as well look at other things here in the garden for this morning. You can see the butternut squash. The male flowers are open. I'm having problems with my butternut squash though. The female flowers are dying. Like, okay, look, there's another one. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Right here, there's a female flower, but there was one around here. Oh, lost, I need, right. There was one around here, but the flower just never opened, and it just fell off and died. So I'm trying to figure out what is causing that. I did some research. I did try to amend the soil a little bit. I see another female flower like I showed you here. I'm hoping that it doesn't do the same thing, but yeah, that's what has been happening, unfortunately. They have just been drying up and falling off, but the male flowers are open, finally, because in the past I did have female flowers open, but there was no male flower to fertilize it, and so therefore it fell off. Now that I'm seeing some female flowers, they are not opening, so that I can take the male flower to pollinate it. I don't know what's going on with these things. It's just, they're not working in tandem. Anyway, again, I'm having the same issue with my tomatoes. Their flowers are not staying. These had some flowers here. I tried to hand pollinate it and it just dropped. So I don't know if it's because of the intense heat. We are having it is really hot. It's extremely humid, it's very hot. So I don't know if that is contributing to it. But that's the thing. It's always something to do with gardening. Either you have to deal with pests or some disease or something. These are some pepper plants here, but I can see that something is eating it. Would I find anything under these leaves? There are holes, so which means it's been eaten by something. Didn't see anything here. These ants are looking to colonize some aphids. Something has eaten the plants. All right. So these peppers, I have bell peppers here. There are a few seasoning peppers. And you can see there are tomatoes here as well. This pepper here that you see, I tried to see if I could save it, but it looks like it's going to die. This was actually, I was trying an experiment and trying to see if I could have grown this in a hydroponic setup, cracky. I had it not in a plastic container, but actually in a milk tin. The pepper plant was looking good the night before. Next morning I came, the plant was wilted. I couldn't understand why. It was looking good the night before. I don't know if the nutrients reacted to the metal of the tin and therefore affected the plant. I have no idea. I mean, it was inside. So when I saw that, I decided, look, let me try to take it out, put it in soil and see if it will catch itself. But as you can see, well, no, it's probably will die. I mean, I will leave it still to see what will happen, but it's still, yeah, look at the leaves are falling off. I don't think we have any hope for this plant. But anyway, that was the story with this plant. These two pepper plants here, this one and this one, I had to repot it. These plants have not been thriving for a very long time, for months now. And the leaves have been yellow, and I've been trying to, you know, put magnesium in it and so forth. Nothing. So a few mornings I got the idea, you know what, tip it out, and maybe you need to change the soil itself. And it's a good thing I did that, because the soil in it was very compacted, and it had so much organic matter that it was almost like soggy, and there were a lot of worms. There were even worms onto the roots of the pepper plant. So I gave them some new soil, and I hope it catches itself. Again, this is a jalapeno pepper plant, but again, I'm having same issues with the flowers not staying. Like, you would see the flower, but then the flower would drop. Again, I don't know if it's because of the heat that we are having, but yeah, I haven't gotten any jalapeno from it for months. So, all right, what else do we have? This is the plant I was telling that was supposed to be a seasoning pepper, but turned out to be a hot pepper. And I took the seeds and tried to germinate it, and as you can see, I was successful. So, and you see how the plant doesn't look so good. Some does. I'm hoping to be able to. Oh, I hope those plants don't die on me. I can take care of it and get some good plants. All right, so this here is my zinnia. This zinnia plant, remember, it had a flower on it, and before the hurricane, I decided to harvest the flower and bring it inside. But another flower is going to be coming out here soon. On this side here, I have my bush beans. I have it staked up using the Florida weave trellising system. They have flowers, but there are no bush beans on it as yet. I have two sets. I have this one here. If you had looked back on my previous videos, you will see that I actually thought these were going to die. I actually thought these plants were going to die, but I said, hey, let me leave it and see what happens. And it's a good thing I did, because look, it has grown up nicely. So we have these here as well. We see flowers on it. Unfortunately, my marigold that I bought from the nursery has died. I don't know why. I don't know why. There is a pepper plant. I kind of have it. kind of squeezing up between the marigold and the bush beans. Here I have put some seeds of zinnia seeds to germinate. I don't know if they will. I was just testing that out. Underneath here I have 3 pepper plants. I have some Chinese cabbage that was decimated by cutworms, as you can see. So what I'll probably do is uncover the netting and look again under the leaves to see if I tried spraying the Chinese cabbage with a concoction, but unfortunately the solution that I used, I think I burnt the leaves of my Chinese cabbage. So all in my quest to try to get rid of these cutworms, but because these cutworms have literally eaten down the whole thing, like there's one that's gone. That's what they do. See that? Look at this one, completely eaten. So I have to see about that. I have another zinnia here. You can see this one is about to flower as well. This one is dying. This one is about to flower. This is a zinnia that I have here also, my cucumbers. This cucumber I thought was going to die. I think either a roly-poly or all snail started to eat the roots. Not the roots, the stem. So what I did to try to help the plant was I made a paste with turmeric and honey, and I had put it on the open wound of the plant, and I also had tried to put a barrier around it, and I was waiting to see if the plant would catch itself, and it has, because it hasn't died as yet. It's growing up, as you can see. This is it here growing up, so hopefully it continues to grow. This is the other cucumber plant where I harvested a cucumber from it, my first cucumber, but they're not developing properly though. They're all deformed at the bottom. So I don't know if it's because I'm not putting enough water in it, because that is one reason. I cannot see it being nutritional. I cannot see it being a nutritional deficiency, because to me I had put granular fertilizer, I had put bone meal, so I was also watering it with some, it did get some fish fertilizer too, so I don't know if it has been really hot. And some mornings I didn't water because I said, oh well, it had rained a few days ago, so maybe I don't need to, but I don't know if it's because of being a container and it's on the concrete that if it doesn't get enough moisture, it will dry out faster. Maybe that's why they're coming out deformed. But at least I was able to harvest it still, and I can still eat it. And I can eat the skin because I know that it's not sprayed. All right, let's go over to the other lane here. I have 2 pepper plants here again. This pot is a bird pepper. This is a seasoned pepper on the ground. Underneath here I have bell peppers and sweet basil. Why do I have the bell pepper covered? Because again, I noticed that something was eating the leaves. So I don't know if it was some kind of locust, because I didn't see any signs of a cutworm, but it could be some sort of like a grasshopper or something. So I covered them to prevent whatever it is from eating the leaves. This here is an okra plant. This is another bell pepper in this pot. I have another zinnia that I put in front here. I decided to try an experiment. I saw in a video where persons have what is called topped their zinnias, just as you can top a pepper plant, where after the 3rd sets of true leaves, you pinch off the top. And they say by doing that, it will encourage side growth, and therefore you get more flowers. So I tried that. And yeah, I am seeing, look, we have, because I topped it here, and now 2 side growths came out here, so which means now I can get flowers. So instead of getting, well, the thing about it, I noticed this one, I didn't top this, and I am getting side growths of this one too. So maybe the plant does it itself and you don't necessarily have to top it. Because look, there's another one here, a side growth here. So I'm going to get a flower here. This is another growth here, it's a flower. Look, I'm seeing more side growths coming out here, which means I'm going to get flowers there. And then we have this one. So yeah, maybe it does it for itself. This is my other cucumber plant here. It looks okay. So let me just kind of train the tendril to hook on to the trellis here. I'm trying to feed it through because the tendrils, they're always looking for where I'm trying to hold the camera and do it at the same time. All right, so we have this one train going up here. This is a bush basil plant here. That's another cucumber that I have going up here. Okay, so that one there is kind of going up in the air. I'm going to have to train it. I wanted to train it to go on the other side, so, but I don't think that's long enough to do that just yet. All right, so this is the bush basil that I had taken a cutting from, and I rooted it. It's growing here. Here I have some fever grass or lemongrass. I have the rosemary. Rosemary doesn't seem to be moving anyway. Looks like it's stunted. Some cilantro that I had put in this pot. This is a bell pepper that I put here next to a Chinese cabbage, but I don't find the bell pepper looks so good. I don't know. This flower here is called sweet alyssum. It's supposed to be to attract bees, but somehow bees doesn't like to come into my garden for some reason. I don't see the bees. I have turmeric here and some sort of volunteer plant. It might be a squash that I did not plant, but it's there. These are the seeds of the bush basil that fell and they germinated here. This is a parsley here. My hibiscus, finally, after doing some research, I added some magnesium to it and it started to flower and actually open up. What was happening, it would have the flower, but the flower was not opening. After putting the magnesium, yesterday this flower was open. So hopefully this one opens as well. I have another bell pepper here in the back. I hope it does well. I find the peppers don't look so good. And these are the peppers I got from the nursery. So the ones that I germinated, I find they look a little better. And what else do we have in the back here? I have one lone tomato tree in the back here. I have an okra here. And these are long beans. One of the long beans are not thriving. These two, well, I guess they're trying, not looking so good. I'm not sure if it's because I had sprayed it. But anyway, I trained it to start to run on the trellis here. This one is in the process of going up. And so, yeah, that's what we have so far, right? That cucumber that is over there, I will give it a few more days and then I will harvest it. This cucumber that I have here, I will probably give it a little longer and then I will harvest it. So that is our garden update, guys. Thanks for coming along. This is arugula here. I'm leaving it because I want it to go to seed so that I will get some more seeds from it. Not more seeds, so I can get some seeds from it. I've never gotten seed, but I want to save some seeds, so that's why I'm leaving it here. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. So thanks for coming along on the journey of my little garden update. This is an orange. Yeah. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pot up this plant here, which is a chamomile, because I don't want to lose it, and I'm afraid that if I leave it in here, that's just might happen. Try to pot up this one in here. And then, let me wet this. Let me wet the soil on this. All right. Let's get this orange. Yeah. Okay, 2 oranges. Which one? 2 oranges. Unless I do try to keep it too. Let's have a look. This one looks like it has a better root. So we put this one in here. Close that up. Right. So we put this one here. Put it up. And I guess I will try to save this one as well. And try to put this one up as well. Okay. Let me get another pot for that. Alright, so I'll give this one a home as well. There we go. Piece of wood. Alright. Well, my job here is, you know what? I don't know if I should try to put up these two struggling chamomiles. Maybe if I take it out of here, I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna try and put this. 2 seeds came up here. And like they're not, I mean, they have not been growing at all. I don't know why. I mean, what I'm doing here, I am greatly running the chance of losing it completely. But the point is, it's not going in there in any case. You see that? All right, so I'm gonna leave this in here and see what happens with it. I'll probably try doing the same thing with this one and see what happens. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully I remember that if it does well or not.